Okay, so the sun is really bright this morning. You know, it's getting much lower on the horizon now because we're getting close to winter. And yeah, it causes issues with pictures and videos and all this stuff. But, you know, it is what it is. This area here I'm walking across is normally covered in water. But like I said, the water levels are very low this year. And this is the first time in 11 years I've been able to get across here. So that gives you an idea how low the water levels really are. Yeah, my shoes are all wet now. It's, you know, this time of the year, going into winter, before the freeze up, we get a very, very heavy dew in the morning. It's almost like it rained all night. That's how heavy the dew is. So yeah, everything is wet, and I was a little bit concerned about that, thinking about coming over here today because, you know, I'm going into the bush, and you know, if it's really wet in there, it can be miserable when you get all drenched. Anyways, I want to go up here to Pioneer Point for a second and show a bit of that. Yeah, like I said, I came in here the other day, not yesterday, but I don't know, day before or whatever, and I did have a look around. This is where a guy named Paul Westerfield came in here in about 1945. He was looking for a spot to make a vacation cabin for his family, and eventually he did come up here with his family, all of them, but it wasn't easy getting in here back then, 1945. They had to come by canoe up the Serpent River, down from Whiskey Lake there. They paddled all the way up through the bush there. There were no really marked portages or anything back then. They just had to struggle their way through. And they brought, you know, their stuff up. Eventually, they were serviced by a float plane, and then they could bring stuff in that way. But originally, when they came in, there was no kind of services like that. So they dragged everything in over the portages up the Serpent River there. When I came over the other day, I noticed an old axe stuck in the tree. It looks pretty old. I don't know if it would be from back then or not, if someone put that in there more recently, but yeah, that was interesting. And then another thing, there's the fire pit right here, because people do camp here sometimes in the summer. And there's a sign over here. I don't know, that's probably a newer sign, my guess is. Yeah. And it's, yeah, last night was Halloween, so that's appropriate. Also, I noticed some walls built here, concrete and local rock. You can see that wall right there. And there's steps here. So I'm thinking these were built by the Westerfields for sure. They've been here since maybe 1950 or so, because they didn't start building in 1945. They were just looking for a place. Yeah, that wall was almost certainly built by the Westerfields. So it's nice to see that kind of stuff still exists. Anyways, this battery light's flashing on my camera, so I got to shut it down for a sec.